All right, welcome to round number 4. If I can remember what round it is here. This hand on the play is not terrible, obviously, just because of the power of Serum Visions, but I do sort of have that age-old problem, shall we call it, of not necessarily knowing what I want to top against a unknown opponent. Fortunately for me, I am lacking in lands, so we know we kind of just want those. With another Serum Visions especially, I know that we're probably not going to have a lot of time for this opt, especially with only one blue source currently. And as such, I'm also going to bottom this Remand. It's possible that I could try to leave the Remand up. Drew opt instead anyway. It's possible I could try to leave the Remand up instead, but then if my opponent didn't cast anything, that would be incredibly punishing since I need to hit that land drop. So I think I just bottom both of those instead. I did hit another opt here. I suppose we're going to opt to increase the likelihood that we draw a blue source right now, since that would be best. We draw the 1-of Basic Mountain. Not the best, but at least a land. Hopefully we can find some more blue sources here, which our deck is chock full of. We have, the 3 non-blue sources, and the rest of the remainder of our lands produce the much desired blue mana. Opponent has another Vial, but no land. We do hit some blue sources. This Cryptic, while being useful for tapping the team, will not do much else against a bunch of Vials. And I don't have a way to clean these up game 1. Game 2 will have like explosives if we cared, which we probably will since they're likely to have a bunch of 2-drops anyway, and explosives pretty good against 2-drops. Anyway, so the Cryptic, not terribly exciting, but might be worth for just tap the team, draw a card. We probably are going to have mana for that, plus I have the Snapcaster. So let's top Cryptic, top Tarn. Obviously, if we change our mind, we could sort of sequence our things in a way that allowed us to wait, although I'm probably not going to. We're just going to go ahead and draw that Scalding Tarn, and then decide about this Cryptic here. Bottomed that. I guess maybe I should have bottomed the Tarn, actually. Land number 5 is probably not necessary. Yeah, I probably should have bottomed the Tarn and just drew the Cryptic. No, I guess I need the Tarn for the Cryptic. That's why. Yeah, forgot we had 2, almost forgot we had 2 red sources there. But yeah, all right, fair enough. Fair enough, brain. I understand now. I understand my own thought now. Yeah, so Scalding Tarn first, then Cryptic, I think is correct here. Probably get 3-bit Inspectored here. Most likely just mono white taxes. Potentially some more exciting things going on, but probably just some mono white taxes action. All right, opponent does hit their second land, so we know they're chock full of action here. I don't really want to bolt a 3-bit Inspector. Obviously pretty telling that I have bolt or was just distracted. I'll leave it up to my opponent to decide. So we're not going to be able to Cryptic this turn now. Or snap. I guess I could snap Serum Visions or snap Opt here. And wait on the bolt, but that puts me farther away from the breach. Let's see, I have Opt on bottom and Flooded Strand on bottom. And Remand on bottom. So I'm not particularly interested in fetching if I don't have to. So we'll probably start with Lighthouse. I might want to click my opponent in response to a Vial activation, but they almost certainly have more 2-drops. So that's probably greedy. But I don't really want to bolt this. Like, if they have more Thalia in their hand, then they just get to put Thalia in anyway. So bolt this turn is not very useful. Perhaps I leave up Snap Opt or Snap or click here. But if my opponent activates their Vial on 2, which they're going to, I probably just want to try to get them. It's like a good tempo play if we can hit. Wow, they don't. So their hand is just like all paths, additional Thalia, or like Eldrazi Displacers. If they have Eldrazi Displacer in their deck, I guess not. Flicker Wisp. Unless they are feeling that Eldrazi Splash in their mono white build, which is possible. I guess depends on the list, but yeah, so we just let them jam here, right? Yeah. Could trade a snap for a 3-bit Inspector, but I think we'll just let that go. If my opponent's not really committing anything else to the board here, Obviously, they have Flicker Wisp available, which makes it pretty likely. End of their second main, I might want to click them. Unless I really just want to try to get them with the Vial again, which is possible. Next turn I could try to... If they have multiple Flicker Wisps, this won't work. But I could try to like bolt something into click their Flicker Wisp away, which is, again, probably unnecessarily greedy. So I think I'll just loot here or Snap Opt. Snap Opt sounds slightly better. I don't really want to pitch much of these, but then I do lose Snap Bolt. So it's comparable to pitching my Snap. Except I actually get it in play. So yeah, we'll just snap Opt here. Like if I don't really draw into the land, I can't really afford to pitch this Tarn since I don't have triple blue. I mean, I don't really want this. Another Breach. Not an Emrakul, so not terribly exciting. Play a land. Probably don't bash. And then go for the click if my opponent activates their Vial on 3. Gosh, they must have multiple 2s, though. I mean, I think I get ambitious here. I just say multiple 2s, I meant multiple 3s. They're going to Vial on 2 in response. So this could be like a Leonin Arbiter. So I really do need to fetch here, unfortunately. Let's just get another basic. Don't really want to pay life, but get kind of punished if my opponent produces a Ghost Quarter. Yeah, it was a Leonin Arbiter. Click our opponent here, see if they have multiple 3s, which is not terribly unlikely, unfortunately. They do only have the 1/3, and it's not very good. It's a Mirror Crusader. Let's sniff this hand. We can definitely deal with that. Path, Resto. They do have the additional Thalia we put them on, and the Path. But no Flicker Wisps or anything like that. I don't hate allowing this Mirror Crusader to enter, and then... bolting it. Resto is actually going to be pretty annoying. So I might just take that. We kind of have to get through all these flyers. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Resto, use one of these bolts on the Mirror Crusader. Problem is, Emrakul can actually be blocked, right? Doesn't have trample, it can be blocked. So sometimes when your opponent has like a weird board state and they're beating you down anyway, you can actually lose just by like them blocking and still having permanents left over to kill you with. I guess my opponent could have drawn Ghost Quarter off of either that or the draw step, and that would be pretty bad. Then I'm like using my mana from the Arbiter, but obviously I can't let them untap their Vials and untap their mana, otherwise they'll just Resto my thing. They do find a Tech Edge, which can destroy my Lighthouse, but this was the one incentive to not getting like Steam Vents if I wanted to continue to have triple blue. Unfortunately, this cuts me off of, obviously, even farther off of Breach and slightly off of Cryptic, but at this point, I guess this is holding Arbiter back. Why would I want to trade there? Yeah, sorry. Let's not block there. We'll just take the 3. All right, we do find a Steam Vents. I think shocking here to tap the team and drawing a card is correct. No reason to offer the trade. Let's see if, I guess let's see first if this click gets pathed. If it does, I probably want to pay 2 and get the land. If it gets blocked by a Resto, I'm going to bolt it. So what, they're just going to path me while I'm tapped out, I guess. If I do shock, go for tap your team, draw a card here. Guess I could tap, bounce this, but it doesn't matter because they're leaving this on 2 wisely. since they have the additional Thalia. So maybe I don't go for tap. I guess I still have to, I think. So you're gonna get an extra clue out of the deal. Doesn't mean I'm willing to bolt it. Yep. Fortunately, they don't have the mana to sack it right now, at least, so it's a little clunky for them, but obviously still good to get that value while pushing another flyer our direction. They leave it on 4, obviously, and turn that one up to 3. So now we actually have the option of like bolting this EOT without worrying about another one. Here, though, we're gonna tap draw. Another breach. Sometimes in your A plus B combo deck, you only find A. Alright, well, there's 6 lands, so that's kind of part of the equation. My opponent didn't path me while I was tapped. But I don't think an attack here is actually wise. I'm probably interested in block bolt. Yeah. I could have bounced snap, I guess, but I'm pretty far away from like, and that would have given me snap bolt, I guess, but I'm pretty far away from like snap cryptic. I still think I just want to like cycle through my deck as fast as possible to try to find Emrakul, and I'd rather not bounce the snap then. Although if I have nothing to do with my mana this turn, I could have snap Serum Visions, which is better than drawing a card. I guess I was hopeful to be able to do something with my mana this turn, though. So opponent has Path Thalia that we know about and 4 mystery cards because they've just been on all gas. I'm going to make this block, let damage happen, and then bolt, I guess, EOT. If they have Flicker Wisp to save it, I don't want it coming back until as late as possible. So yeah, EOT. Not terribly unlikely for them to have found Flicker Wisp here, especially if they're jamming. Obviously I have to pay 2 here. Alright, well it did die, so that's good at least. Still don't want to block here since it's keeping the Arbiter back for now. We did find the Emrakul. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have another Resto, but even if they do, they're losing all their permanents. Unless they have a 3 as well. Either way, we do really need to go for it here. So Path Thalia, 4 mystery cards. If they violence something, oh, they already have 7. 2, 4, 7. Yeah, so they already can save something. Even with blocking if they wish. So does that mean I don't jam with the Snapcaster Mage? I guess I don't jam with the Snapcaster Mage quite yet. So they're going to sack land. Maybe they keep a Vial. I'm not going to jam with the Snap. I mean, it's possible. I guess it would affect what they... No, because they just be blocking the Emrakul anyway. So yeah, I think not jamming with the Snap. So they're going to path my Snap anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, sure, that makes sense. Obviously, we don't get to search because there's an Arbiter. Oh my gosh, the Annihilator trigger resolved without my opponent using their Vials. Do they just not have anything? Do they just have all paths? Well, now we just have to draw like any creature or bolt, so... or another... I mean, I guess Emrakul qualifies as any creature. Alright, Scalding Tarn does not change that equation, so... Pass on back. Opponent gets to keep a Vial, obviously. Alright, they do find a Ghost Quarter and another Vial. I guess that makes sense to be in their hand here. We just shuffled, so we'll just go ahead and do that. I could easily die here if I can't find anything. I guess we turn off... I guess I just showed my opponent I don't have Cryptic. Should have tapped that slightly differently. Guess we turn off Ghost Quarter. Just because. Another Vial, that makes sense still. Opt now to see if I can find a creature. That qualifies. Kind of a scary game, actually. I feel like my opponent drew like very badly. Obviously, they ended up drawing all their vials, and just like didn't have anything to vial in, even though they had all gas. Like they had no lands either. So, yeah, we got pretty lucky to win that one, honestly. Blood Moon is in kind of a weird spot where like our opponent has a pile of utility lands, and you could argue like, well, I really don't want their tech edges and ghost quarters and all that to do any work. Even Horizon Canopy, Cavern of Souls. Gosh, that really is a lot. Maybe I'm talking myself into it. I don't know. It feels like I should probably not have them in, but especially when I'm just going to have this like better controlling role anyway. Make a weird argument for buy force, but I don't know that I buy it. Jace is like close to good here. I think I like the roasts. Again, doesn't hit flyers, so these are kind of in the middle. I like all of these 100%. Those are all excellent. Rejection I'm not into. Dispel, no. Spell Snare, probably. Spell Snare in this pile as well. Blood Moon's probably not. I don't mind shaving on Cryptic in a matchup such as this. Click, I like. Remand on the draw against the Vial deck, I'm not super interested in. Spell Snare I still think is powerful enough that I like that one, but Remand, not so much. Shaving on counters is something we definitely want to be doing here. So I think these 7 are well, I guess these 5 are easy cuts, and I think I'm going to cut the moons. I think I would rather just have more interaction rather than worrying about their lands. But it would be kind of nice to maybe have one so that there are some situations where we wouldn't have to worry about their lands. But it's just such a bad top deck here. I think I'm going to ignore the buy force. We have the explosives primarily as ways to sort of do its best Anger the Gods impression, but can also blow up the chalice or the vials in a pinch. Roast does not hit Flicker Whip, does not hit Resto, but it does hit all those ground pounders. I think I'd prefer to get the other Spell Snare in there, and then probably a 1 of Roast. I've been pretty disappointed with Roast lately, but I think it's just so good against the Eldrazi decks that it's worth having in the board. But maybe we can't fit 2 in there. Maybe we'd rather cut 1 for like another rejection, since I feel like rejection's better in more matchups. This is not one of them, of course, as we're not siding in the rejections, but just kind of an opportunity to note that there have been a surprisingly large number of times where Roast has been awkward, either because it's a sorcery or doesn't hit flyers. The not hitting flyers thing has mostly been against weirdo decks like that we've ran into here and there. Like there was a time I really needed to kill a Baneslayer Angel. That's not very typical. There's that time I needed to kill a demigod. Also not very typical. This hand, I can click away one of my Emrakuls, but I think we're going to have to ship that one. This looks much better. Although it is Landlight. Definitely going to bottom this breach here. Don't love Landlight decks against the Taxes matchup, or Landlight hands against the Taxes matchup, but I don't think the solution is mulligan more. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this and hope we can find the lands required. Weird. Don't know why stream sounds are happening on this display. Let's see here. Is there a way I can make sure that doesn't happen again? Huh. Well, I guess we'll worry about it later. Apologies for the extra sound there. Yeah, weird. Okay. Anyway, Thalia coming down. We're going to opt in response. Definitely want this additional land. We've got the old, like, Electrolyze is so good at cleaning up Thalia Plus, but obviously it's really hard to get to that spot. So My opponent's not really going to be able to save this without a Vial. I guess I might as well wait, but they're just going to lead by attacking, lead on attacking rather, and there's really no reason for me to hold back if that's the case. I don't think I want to take the damage. Obviously, they can have another Thalia, but then I'm just getting closer to Electrolyze actually being able to kill that one, so just keep my life total high here. Yeah, there's the other Thalia, but again, puts me closer to the Electrolyze doing something. I can't Snap Bolt now, obviously can't Electrolyze, so it looks like we're going to be on the click plan. Because I have really nothing else to do on my opponent's turn, I will go ahead and draw step it. This sort of does tell my opponent, hey, I don't have a Remand or really anything better to do with my mana, but I'm okay telling them that, right? If we had other stuff we wanted to leave up, we would not be clicking them the draw step. We would just wait in this situation. But there's another Thalia. A Revoker is non-land. Is there really anything for them to revoke of ours? Let's go ahead and check here. Make sure I didn't forget something. Explosives, I guess. I'm not really that worried about it. Blade Splicer is 2 bodies. Revoker I can also clean up with this. So yeah, I guess let's just take Blade Splicer here. Opponent still has a fair number of cards, but so Revoker, Thalia, mystery card for our opponent. Nothing we really want to trade this click for, so I guess we're just going to be taking the 4 here and firing back for 3 rather than making an unexciting trade here. Interesting that the clues can also help insulate them from Annihilator. I hadn't thought about that. That's kind of funny. Staticaster. Okay, yeah, I didn't think about that, actually. I missed that. We do have the 1 Staticaster. That's probably a good name. So now we have this semi-awkward situation of whether or not to get basic island or steam vents. My opponent obviously has this tech edge literally in play. They do need like all of their mana though, and it's not that hard for me to find another red source. But and I do really value this 2 life, so it's kind of tough for me to make that exchange. But I guess it's just too easy for them to cut me off of red mana if I do it that way. So we'll just go ahead and clean these up. We're not taking that much damage. We'll take 2 this turn. Opponent might get this other Thalia in play, and then we have Bolt. Obviously, my opponent has Thalia. Mystery card, yeah. We even have Bolt, Snap Bolt available if we wanted to totally clean up the board. Just gonna do this now in case my opponent like has Resto and draws the land they need or whatever. We also have Snap Opt. Could not have Snap Electrolyze here with the Thalia in play, but there's a Vial. Not great for my opponent at this point. If I really value my life total highly, we can go for the Snap Block Bolt here. I think I'm not that interested. I'd much rather Snap Opt here. Smuggler's Copter, yeah. Possible I should have saved the Bolt for that now, but again, just looking for breach. That's not a breach. That's also not a breach. Another click. So they have Thalia? No, they've already used both Thalia. So they have mystery card. We might just be able to out-tempo them here. I could bounce this Snapcaster rather than draw a card. Like my opponent animates their Copter, and I either like bounce Copter, draw a card, or bounce my Snap. I guess I can if I'm bouncing their Copter, right? I'd have to tap their team, bounce my Snap. Probably rather just bounce Copter to be more annoying since my opponent's mana has been kind of choked and I don't really want them to sack these clues. And I don't want them to attack me with that, obviously, to get to loot. So I guess to preserve my life total and stop them from looting, I guess that's not tapping this though, so I won't be able to attack with the Snapcaster anyway. So maybe I do just tap bounce, gain access to either Snap Bolt or I wish I could bounce, but obviously that's not really a thing here. Maybe I do just tap bounce. If my opponent has Path there, though, it just gets countered. It's not terribly unlikely my opponent has Path, but it's also not terribly likely. They have 2 mystery cards that they've drawn over the last couple turns, so could really be anything here. I guess I'll go for bounce draw. Maybe my opponent still attacks me with the Inspector. Kind of just like choking my opponent's mana and still clocking them with this click. And if they do have like a path, they'll probably want to direct it at click and then I have another click. I don't really want to use this Flooded Strand. That 1 life could matter. I might have said that already. I forget now, but we'll go ahead and not crack that EOT here. If we can help ourselves. That's a good mystery card, but fortunately we are not black or green, so we do get to block that guy if we want. May very well have to bolt it and not get to use this bolt for my opponent's face. If only click wasn't legendary. I guess if I'm bolting this, I should be attacking with this. Yeah, that's probably where we want to be. Yeah. Rather than like leave Snapcaster back to try and chump. I mean, I guess leave Snapcaster back to try and chump is maybe more likely to win exactly next turn. There's not a lot that can go wrong there, right? I mean, then I don't get to jam with the snap. Like, I feel like I'm kind of likely to have to bolt that thing anyway, but maybe not, right? Like, maybe if my opponent doesn't have any way to get past the snap, then I just block it, EOT bolt. But if my opponent finds a path, like, I guess it really wouldn't be that big of a deal. Then I just bolt that thing then, and I just didn't get in with the Snapcaster, which isn't that much of an issue. So, I don't know. Maybe maybe not supposed to bolt there. Probably supposed to just leave snap back, not take the control roll, continue writing out my tempo. Flicker Wisp. They can Flicker Wisp this. Probably. Sure. So they're going to trade. Which means, what am I really discarding here? I guess discarding the Emrakul is fine, especially with triple bolt in my yard, but then, yeah. I guess now I can discard the click, bolt the Flicker Wisp, get in with click. Yeah, probably just discard the click now. That way if I drop reach, my opponent just dies. I don't have to give them another turn. Yeah, I'm going to bolt this. File on 2. There's really not a lot that can go wrong here. I guess with a Cryptic in play, I don't force this trade. Or Cryptic in hand, not a Cryptic in play. I don't have a Cryptic Serpent or anything like that in play, though that would be sweet. I mean, we have a lot of instants and sorceries in the yard. Could get one of those guys in play. Sheffet Dunes. Close to activating that and just murdering us, but yeah, my opponent can attack if they wish. 1 Thraben Inspector. So if my opponent has Flicker Wisp, it's another one of those spots where I guess I'm looting here, but I should have done it. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're happy to discard that. Yeah, sure. We'll start on that. Find a Breach. We'll cast Breach. Close. Guess I top this. Snapcaster, though, obviously likely to be just as good. I guess we jam first. Make my opponent do something about the onboard kill. Resto. This is just safer, right? This is just way safer. Like, what are they gonna do here? Just gonna snap bolt. If I had 7 mana, I would start with Cryptic, but I don't. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what my opponent could possibly have there. Like maybe after I draw the Serum Visions, I'm just supposed to slam snap on the table, but I might as well attack and make them do whatever they're planning on doing to not die to the click that's already facing them down. Probably any of these cards was good enough to deal, right? The Cryptic or the Snapcaster Bolt. But either way, yeah, I will see you in the final round in just a moment.